So I've covered some fragrances from the brand Montagne Parfums in the past, and of course they do make original creations, but they also have their own inspired expressions or fragrances that are inspired by really popular niche fragrances. Here is a fragrance where, if you can't already tell by looking at the box, this is kind of inspired by Le Labo. Specifically, the fragrance it's inspired by is Gaiac 10. This fragrance is called Oh Gayak. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this clone, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Oh Gayak by Montagne Parfums, and I tell you what I think about the smell, the notes, the performance, the evolution on my skin, how close I think it comes to the original, so on and so forth, I do want to start things off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you could be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you took something of value from today's episode. It would really mean a lot to me. So, very simple note breakdown. It's actually written right on the front of the box here. Musk, cedar, Gaiac wood, olibanum, which is frankincense. So it's a fairly simple, woody, incensey, musky type of a fragrance. I don't think it's Le Labo's most popular fragrance, and of course I'm referring to the original Gaiac 10. I think when it comes to Le Labo fragrances, they have classics like Santal 33, Rose 31, Bergamot 22, Vetiver 46. There's a lot of other fragrances from the brand that seem to get a lot more praise, hype, and attention than this one does. In any case, I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, also let you know how close I think it comes to the original. But let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation. Now, right in the opening, this fragrance is going to give you that smooth, creamy Gaiac wood ingredient. Now, Gaiac wood is very smooth, it's rich, it's not as earthy as something like a cedar wood, and yes, there is also cedar wood in this fragrance, but it's only secondary to the Gaiac wood. The Gaiac wood is obviously the most concentrated note, and that is the concept behind Le Labo fragrances. So the name Gaiac 10, Gaiac wood is the most concentrated note, which is why it's in the name of the fragrance. And the fragrance contains 10 ingredients. So of course, when we look at the box here, there's only 4: musk, cedar, Gaiac wood, and olibanum. But in reality, there's a total of 10 ingredients that make up the composition of the original, and I would imagine that if they strive to create something really similar to the original, this would contain 10 ingredients in it as well, but some are kind of hidden, right? Not all of the secrets are revealed. So you do get this musky, creamy, slightly sweet Gaiac wood ingredient. The musk is very smooth, it's gentle, it's billowy, it's not animalic, which is something that I would also say about the original. I actually am not a huge fan of animalic musk ingredients, especially when they smell like a barnyard and they kind of give off that rough and tumble vibe. That's not what you're going to get here. So it's very smooth, very pleasant, and I personally enjoy a lot of musk-based fragrances. Now, the incensey quality that's in here, it is a bit rich and balsamic, but it's actually not smoky. A lot of times people think of certain resins, or they might think of incense, and they would attribute like a smoky quality to it. And for some resins like benzoin, for example, it does have a smoky overtone with a bit of a medicinal touch. And that's not what I'm getting here. This fragrance is not smoky in that sense. It's kind of warm, resinous. There's a touch of sweetness to it. Never gourmand, but there is a touch of sweetness to it, and I think it joins forces with the Gaiac wood very nicely to produce this overall rich, sort of exotic aroma that is very easygoing, very easy to love. And in terms of comparisons, look, I honestly think this is like 95% similar to the real thing. And you know, even when it comes to the presentation, this is a 50 ml, and I would imagine it is fairly strongly concentrated, although I had a bit of a hard, oh, it's an eau de parfum, excuse me. So 50 ml eau de parfum, and you know, you're pretty much expecting the same thing when it comes to Le Labo fragrances. So it's 95% similar. It activated the same memories when I tried it. and it's still going strong. I sprayed it on the test strip about 20 to 25 minutes ago, and it smells like I just sprayed it. It is a fairly linear fragrance, so the way that it smells in the opening is the same way it's going to smell in the dry down, but I personally appreciate that because it just means that there isn't going to be too much of a path along which this fragrance is going to travel. Basically, what you see is what you get, or what you smell is what you get. And I kind of enjoy that, right? So there aren't a whole lot of citrus ingredients in here to really create this dramatic evolution. And so this is another one of those fragrances where you can pretty much guarantee if you like the way that it smells in the opening, chances are you're gonna like the way it smells in the heart and in the dry down. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's one of Le Labo's most popular fragrances. And here, you know, you're presented, or we're presented, with a much more affordable alternative. Super high quality, about 95% similar, I would say, to the original, and one that I would totally recommend. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I would not argue that this is unique just because it is a direct impression or inspiration of a more popular niche fragrance, but the overall smell, very smooth, very easy to get along with. There are some other Le Labo fragrances that are a little bit on the daring side of things, Patchouli 24, Oud 27. This is not one of them. In terms of the longevity on this fragrance, you can expect 8+ hours on your skin. Projection was great for the first hour of application. It radiated within an arm's length. It didn't become an elbow's length scent until around that 5.5 to 6 hour mark, and it became a skin scent right around that 8 to 9 hour mark. In terms of the versatility, perfectly unisex. You can wear this one dressed up or dressed down. I think anybody of any age would really appreciate this one, and I can see this one being worn in any season as well. The longevity and the performance is good enough that you can wear it in the cold weather, but it's not too heavy in terms of the ingredients that it contains that you can't wear it in the hotter weather either. So it's a very versatile fragrance, all things considered. And in terms of the presentation, I do think the presentation is a bit derivative. It looks quite similar to the Le Labo presentation, but it's the quality and the juice inside the bottle that matters, and this one is superb. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you're a fan of Gaiac 10 by Le Labo, you gotta get this fragrance. So at the very least, you gotta sample it, see if you can get your nose on it. It's so remarkably similar to the real thing, and I have a feeling you will like it just as much. And if you love Gaiac 10, I know you're gonna love this one. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was my review of Oh Gayak by Montagne Parfums. If you own or have tried this fragrance or the original Gaiac 10 by Le Labo, let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Also, please don't forget to support the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.